learning about genealogy through an online mystery game. Welcome to another Techstination interview. Joining us from Vivid-Pix is CEO Rick Voight. Thanks for joining us again, Rick.
Fred, thanks so much for having me on.
So Vivid-Pix is best known for its image and document restoration software. Great stuff, easy to use. And now you're out with the whodunit mystery game. Tell us how this happened.
So it's actually pretty fun. So as you say, we're best known for Vivid-Pix Restore software that automatically improves faded photos and documents. And we participate in many different conferences. And one of the conferences that just ran this past weekend was in the United Kingdom called the Genealogy Show. And they had an area within the show for games. So it was like, I think I could do something along those lines. So we created a whodunit genealogy game that uses real photos and documents in order to teach people how to do genealogy research and also use Restore software to reveal clues in order to solve the mystery of great Uncle George.
So they're playing a game and they're learning at the same time, it sounds like. They're learning how to use your software.
They are, yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we found is that the software is so easy to use that oftentimes people will just use the one click and move on. And there are additional tools that are available within the software. And by fine tuning some images, they can even get better. So we wanted to make it fast, easy, and enjoyable for folks to be able to learn more about our software.
And you've pushed pretty heavily into the genealogy space. Tell me about that and what the strategy has been.
Sure. So I'm a photo guy. I've been in the photo business for over 36 years. I love the ability to help people relive those memories because they've faded. If we've got old photographs, all the way back to tintypes and daguerreotypes from the 1840s, the 60s, 70s, 80s images have all faded red. And that's simply because of the dyes and the paper that degrade through time. And it's so enjoyable for us to be able to see those light bulbs, to see those eyes sparkle as folks relive their memories. So that's why we really enjoy working in the genealogy family history space. And genealogy, the photos are extremely important, but the documents are extremely important in order to make information legible so that folks are actually able to trace their roots. So that's why we pushed into the document space. So yeah, the genealogy family history space is a lovely, lovely place.
And the software does a great job, as I mentioned, with photos, but also with the documents that you're talking about, because sometimes, you'll come across things that are faded away that you can barely read, and your software can help bring them back. I even used it for a receipt recently that had faded, the way they print receipts today, after 6 months or a year, you can barely read them very often. And I had to return something. They said, oh, you need the receipt to take advantage of the warranty. And so I just put it through your software, and it was very, very easily readable, which was a terrific thing.
That's great to hear.
So tell us, you've also gotten into the magazine publishing business, more or less. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So we thought about, where do people relive their past memories? And oftentimes it's when we're with family, so family reunions, or when they're reconnecting with friends, which oftentimes are at class reunions and or military reunions. And so we began getting to know Reunions Magazine, reunionsmag.com. And it seemed like a natural close cousin synergy with Restore, so that as people are, for instance, at a reunion, oftentimes people will put together boards or panels of past events. And and to be able to relive those memories with restored color, and also with some of the old invitations that our software from a document perspective bring back to life. And it just seemed like a really nice synergy for us. So we acquired them in February, and we've now come out with our second online edition in June. And what we do is we have articles that we write. And then in addition to that, we have articles from people sending in pictures and written words describing their reunion. And they love sharing that, and also great ideas for how others can run more engaging, more fun, better reunions. So we publish all of this on a quarterly basis in our magazine, and then online, we take all that asset and we make it available for folks to be able to find resources of just about anything. Where should they hold their reunion? How do they engage different age groups? Past articles that cover just all kinds of different subjects. And of course, free items.
The interesting thing is you made this acquisition in the middle of a pandemic when there weren't very many reunions going on, at least physical reunions. So it sounds like there was an opportunity for you there, maybe related to that. But now that we're coming out of it, the information can be more valuable than ever.
Absolutely. It was a risk, and business is full of risks. And it was an opportunity that I thought was worth doing. Edith Wagner, the founder of Reunions Magazine, she founded the magazine 30 years ago. And its presence needed to be updated to the 2020 decade. So we spent a lot of time, effort, money in order to be able to make it a real engaging magazine with all the virtual things, the videos playing within the magazine, and the website to be searchable, and so much information to be able to be found. And as I meet with our clients, for instance, I was in Fairfax, Virginia with the Fairfax Convention and Visitors Bureau on Thursday. And they are seeing the families come out first. I mean, we were all hunkered down for a year and a half, and we have great need to reconnect with our family and our friends. So reunion is an interesting word, because a reunion means the coming together, or the re-coming together, having been distant, separated. And so the reunion of a few people getting together and then full-blown reunions are one part of that, and that's coming out quite quickly. And then two is that as we've learned a lot from the technology over the last year and a half, like we're doing right now on a Zoom, we can have hybrid reunions, so that people that are not able to come to an event, whether it be lack of comfort or lack of physical ability, we can bring those people into the reunion and do so electronically. So setting up a TV set with a computer to allow Aunt Martha to be able to be engaging with her family. And that's a really lovely thing. So we're teaching these things.
Terrific. And the website for the magazine is reunionsmag.com. People can find you there.
Correct, sir.
Want to get back to the game for just a minute before we go. Step us through how people again can play this, and there are prizes involved too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did is we used actual photos and documents, and all of them were not legible and or not able to view the photograph well. And so we adapted those to creating a fictional story that brings somebody through the process of immigration to UK to the US. So it really hits home to many people. And we have a a free software download where folks are able to bring down our Vivid-Pix Restore software. They're able to fix these images that are an easy download from the game. And then they're able to reveal the clues, progress through the game, and if they complete the game, they can enter to win giveaways of a trip in New York City, a trip in London, or $1,000 alternative if folks don't want to travel. So it's a weekend in New York or a weekend in London, the hotel, the meals, a little bit of fun, or a grand, and then also some photo gifts. And Vivid-Pix prints is a way for folks, of course, to be able to print all these great images that they've been able to restore. So vivid-pix-prints.com. And then Uncle George is, to find that game, is vivid-pix.com/Uncle George. And we walk you through everything. We've got support available if you have any problems. Hopefully you have a bunch of fun. And learn a little.
Uncle George?
Uncle George, I don't. And you also learn a little bit about genealogy research, because the person I had write it is an expert. And John really did a great job of integrating DNA, integrating records, how to find people if they were not using their name, passenger lists, all kinds of really cool nuggets that can teach people how genealogy research occurs, and learn a little bit about our software and have a bunch of fun.
Terrific. And that website again is vivid-pix.com/Uncle George. Rick Voight, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Fred, it is always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me.